Next we'll solve problem consisting of a uniformly varying load here as shown in figure. Now remember one thing, that whenever there is uniformly varying load, for SFD the curve will be joined using parabolic curve, and for drawing BMD the curve will be cubic. Okay, this you need to remember. Then for point load we know that it is straight line. Look at the question. Draw shear force and bending moment diagrams for simply supported beam as shown in figure. Indicate clearly point of maximum bending moment. Okay, I have to also calculate point of maximum bending moment. Now this involves little bit of more calculations because of the presence of uniformly varying load. Again, the sign conventions are: for drawing SFD, come from right side to the section. If it is bottom, the force is downward, then take positive. If the force is upward from left side, then it is taken as positive. For BMD, if the moments are trying to lift the beam upward, either from right side or from left side, if they are lifting the beam upward, then take them as positive. Now we'll start with the problem. Again, for plotting the SFD and BMD, calculate reaction. Since it is simply supported beam, I am having a reaction RA at A and I am having a reaction RB at B. Okay, for calculating those reactions, I am going to use static equilibrium equation, summation of Fy equal to 0. But before we understand this equation, let us convert the UVL into point load. For converting UVL into point load, here he has given this: the UVL is having a load intensity of 60 kilonewton per meter and it is acting at a distance of 3 meter on the beam. Okay, this UVL is acting on a distance of 3 meter on the beam and intensity is 60 kilonewton per meter. Now to convert UVL into point load, I've told in the previous class, we need to consider area of this triangle. See, this is area of the triangle. Now for considering area of triangle, it is given by half base, that is 3 meter on which it is acting, into height, that is load intensity 60. So half 60 into 3. When I show it in this diagram here, I am converting it into point load. Half 3 into 60 will give me 90 kilonewton. So after converting it into point load, it will be 90 kilonewton, and this load, point load, will be acting at the centroid of the triangle. For centroid, we all know that if we come from this end, it will be length by 3, L by 3 from this end, and if I come from this end, it will be 2L by 3. That is what I have written here. Look at this distance, L by 3. L is 3, it is acting over a distance of 3, so 3 by 3 will give me 1 meter if I come from this end. If I come from this end, it is 2L by 3, that is 2 into L is 3 by 3, 3 will get cancelled, and it is 2 meter from this end. That is what I have written here, 1 meter from here and 2 meter from this end. Okay, now one more thing you need to understand here is, whenever there was UDL, I can come from right side or I can come from left side. Okay, whenever there will be UVL, always come from that end where this UVL is getting to zero load intensity. Here you can see that it is having an intensity of 0. Here it is maximum, because if I come from here where the intensity is 0, it is easy to analyze. Afterwards you will understand the value. But if you come from this end, then it becomes tough. Okay, suppose if the UVL was having 0 load intensity here and it was having maximum at this point, then I would definitely analyze it from this end, not from the right hand side as I usually do. So it is preferable to go from this end. Okay, again we'll start with the same procedure. Find the reaction force. RA and RB are acting upward, we'll take it as positive. And there is a point load which is acting downward, so minus 40. And this, after converting it into point load, it will be acting downward direction, that is minus 90. So plus RA plus RB, minus 40 minus 90 equal to 0. Minus sign, you add them and take it to right side, so it will become RA plus RB is equal to plus 130 kilonewton. Take it as equation 1. Then use another static equilibrium equation, that is summation of moment with respect to point A equal to 0. If it is giving me clockwise movement, take it as positive, Anti-clockwise movement, take it as negative. Again I'm saying these two sign conventions are again only for SFD and BMD, and these conventions are different from SFD and BMD. Here clockwise movement positive, and for anti-clockwise movement we'll take it as negative. Come from this end, there is a reaction RB and it is giving me anti-clockwise movement with respect to point A. Follow the cursor, it is giving me anti-clockwise movement. So minus RB into perpendicular distance is 2 plus 3, 5, 5 plus 1 is 6, 6 plus 2 is 8. So minus RB into 8. Then there is this UVL. When I convert it into point load, it is 90 at a distance of 1 meter from D. Okay, so it will give me clockwise movement since it is acting downward. So plus 90 into 1 plus 1 will be 2, 2 plus 2 will be 4. So plus 90 into 4. Here you can see it is plus 90 into 4. Then there is one more point load, 40 kilonewton. It is giving me clockwise movement and acting perpendicular distance is 2 meter. So plus 40 into 2. Here I've written it as plus 40 into 2 is equal to 0. Minus RB into 8, I'll take it to right side, it will become plus 8 RB is equal to, after adding these two, I'll get it as 440. From this I'll get RB as 55 kilonewton. Once I get the value of 55 kilonewton, substitute in equation 1, I'll get the value of RA as 130 minus RB, that is 75 kilonewton. That is what I have written here, RA as 75 kilonewton and RB as 55 kilonewton. Once I get the value of reaction forces, now I can plot SFD and BMD. Again, for plotting SFD and BMD, wherever there are forces, consider two sections, one at the right, one at the left. Okay, here there is a force, here there is a force, one right section, one left section I have considered. Again here I have considered one right, left, and at all the points wherever there are forces, I have considered left and right sections. And also I have drawn vertical lines wherever there are forces at point A, point C, point D, point E and point B. I have drawn 5 vertical lines. Now for plotting SFD, draw a horizontal line which represents zero shear force. Start from this section and come from right side. Okay, remember this, that there is UVL. If this was having 0 at this point and maximum value at this point, definitely I would have gone from this end, not from this end. Okay, now if I consider this section and come from right side, there is one force, that is 55 kilonewton, and to the right side it is moving upward, then it is negative shear. To the right side of the section, downward is positive, but this is upward, so it is minus 55. So I have represented from 0 to minus 55. From this section to this section, there is no any other forces apart from this one force which I have already considered. So from here I am drawing a straight line because the value is going to remain same. Now like I said, from this point to this point there is a UVL, and for UVL in SFD I need to draw a parabolic curve. Remember this. Okay, now if I consider this section also, okay, this section also, there is no any additional force apart from this. But when I move from this section to this section, what happens is there is a UVL, there is UVL, and when I convert it into point load, it will become 90. Okay, and this 90 with respect to this section is acting in downward direction. That means it is having a positive sign. I was having a minus 55 sign, and here I am adding plus 90. Plus 90 and minus 55 will give me plus 35. Okay, now how to join them? Look, we all know that when I convert it into a point load, it will be acting at the centroid near to this point. So from here, this point, it should pass like this. Okay, I cannot make the curve like this. Parabola, I cannot make the curve like this because it will intersect near to this point. But I want, since the force is acting near to this point, that is point D, I want the curve to pass near to this point. So the curve will be like this. You cannot have the curve like this. I am going to have the curve like this because point of application of force is near here. So if I take it like this only, then it will cross here. Here I am getting a zero shear force. That means bending moment, when I plot it, I'll get the maximum bending moment at this section. Okay, now further we'll continue. Okay, I got the value of 35 kilonewton at this point. Now if I consider this section also, there is no any additional forces which is induced, so it will be 35 only. Now come to this section. When I come to this section, come from right side. Apart from this force and UVL, again there is no any additional force. That is why I am going to draw a straight line up to this point. But as soon as I go from this point to this point, there is one force which is added, and it is acting vertically downward direction. In the right side, vertically downward is positive. So whatever value I was having, 35 kilonewton, add 40 to that, I'll get it as 75. From this section to this section, when I move, there is no any additional forces added or subtracted in between, so I'll draw a horizontal line. Then as soon as I move from this section to this section, there is one forces added, and it is vertically upward direction. In the right side, vertically upward means negative. Okay, so plus 75 I was already having, now add minus 75 to it, it will become 0. So this is about plotting shear force diagram. Now we'll move on to bending moment diagram. Bending moment diagram, consider only one section. You can consider right section or left section, both are fine. No need to consider both the sections. Come from right side, consider this section. Okay, there is one force but perpendicular distance is 0, so at this point the bending moment value is 0. Before that, draw a horizontal line which represents 0 bending moment diagram. Okay, at this point bending moment is 0. Now consider this section or this section, both is fine. For example, I'll consider this section. There is a force to the right hand side, that is 55, and there is also perpendicular distance, that is 2. 55 into 2 will give me 110. Since it is a point load, join using a straight line, so 110 positive, so upward I am drawing the point 110 kilonewton. Now from this section, if I move to this section, any section I can take, right or left, there is UVL. Whenever there is a UVL, I need to draw a cubic curve for BMD. That is what I am doing here. I am drawing a cubic curve. But before that, I need to find what is the value at this section. For that, come from right side. There are two forces now. One is this 55 kilonewton, other is 90 kilonewton. 55 kilonewton and perpendicular distance is 5. So 55 into 5, and it will be plus because it is lifting the beam upward. Then this 90, it is bending the beam downward. Okay, it will bend the beam downward, so I'll take it as minus. So minus 90 into perpendicular distance is 1. So 55 into 5 minus 90, the value I'll get it as 185. Now I need to join this curve. I can join using cubic curve, but I need to take it upward because first of all it is increasing from 110 to 185, so I cannot take the curve like this. I need to obviously take the curve like this. Second of all, the maximum bending moment is at this section, so obviously I need to lift the curve, not bend the curve. Never bend the curve. Okay, like this. Always lift the curve here above. Now when I am lifting the curve, I got the value of 185 here. Now moving from this section to this section, it is easy. Instead of going from right hand, if you go from left hand, okay, you can consider this section or this section, both are fine. If I consider this section, for example, come from left side, 75 kilonewton, and it is lifting the beam upward with respect to this section. Okay, it will lift the beam like this, so I am taking it as positive. 75 into 2 will give me 150. There is this force also acting, but perpendicular distance is 0. 75 into 2 will give me 150 kilonewton, right? So at this section the value is 150 kilonewton, but since it is a point load, so I am joining it with straight line. Then come to this section. Instead of coming from right, come from left only. There is a force. If you consider any section, there is no perpendicular distance, so value will be 0. So this is about bending moment curve. Remember one thing, whenever you are plotting the curve, always write the value, and minus if it is negative and plus if it is positive. Okay, and also write the unit. For force it is kilonewton, because here we are having all the units in kilonewton, and for bending moment it is force into perpendicular distance, which will give me kilonewton meter. Now next question is, To find the maximum bending moment, we know that at this point shear force is 0, so bending moment will be maximum at this point. Now, like we did in the previous videos, we considered triangles here like this, but in that case where there was UDL, I was having a straight line, so that is why I took it as a triangle. But here I am having a parabola, so I cannot take this as a triangle. Then how to find this distance? Because only when I find the distance either from this end to this end or from this end to this end, I can find the bending moment. Without distance I cannot find the bending moment. Then for that, now before that, again once again I'm saying that whenever you are solving problem, always write the calculation. This is the calculation for bending moment, and also write the calculation for shear force in examination. I'm not showing it in slide, but you need to write the calculation. Now we'll move on to how to calculate the distance. Now we need to calculate a distance or a point where shear force is 0. Now for that, what I'll do is I'll consider from this point to this section as x, okay, and I need to find what is the value of x. Now why I'm considering from this point only as x and why not from here? Look at this again, the reason is same thing. Okay, this UVL is having 0 at this section and maximum at this section. Always come from right side if there is a 0 value of UVL at this section. If the value of UVL was exactly opposite 0 here, then always come from this section and take this as x. Now since I am coming from right, I am going to take x as this point. Okay, now to determine the value of x here, since it is not a straight line, it is a parabola, I cannot consider the concept of similar triangles. So what I am going to do is I'll cut the section at this section where it is 0 shear force. Okay, I'll cut this section and I'll take all the forces either to right or all the forces either to the left. If you come from left, look at what the problem is. Here you are getting the maximum. If I cut the section here and if I come from right end, here I'll be having maximum value and here I'll be having 0 value. But same thing if I come from left and if I cut this section here I'm having maximum value and here I'm having minimum value. But look at this section, it is not 0. Okay, it is having some value. So to consider this value and also this value, analysis becomes 0. But if I come from this end, I'm having the value here as 0 and here as maximum, which is simple to analyze. So cut the section here and consider right side of the beam. Okay, that is what I am showing here. See, okay, this entire section I have drawn here. Okay, this entire figure I have drawn here, whatever the figure is from this end to this right side, but I need to consider only figure up to this section. See, this I have drawn. This is the larger triangle having a load intensity of 60 kilonewton per meter, which is given in the problem, and this distance is 3, and from here the right side distance, see, this distance is 3, and from here the distance is 2 meter, and reaction load is 55 kilonewton. That is what I have represented here. This is a triangle, entire triangle having a distance of acting on a length of 3 meter, and from here the distance is 2 meter, and the point load of 55 kilonewton is acting at point B. See, but what I need to consider is I need to consider only up to the section XX. But if I have to consider only this section, I have to know what is the load intensity at this point. See, the load intensity at larger triangle was 60 kilonewton per meter. To convert it into point load, what I did is I consider area of this triangle, that was half, base was 3 and height was 60. But now I am considering only up to section XX, and this base distance I have taken it as x. It is fine, which I need to find. I need to find the value of x, but I need to know the value of height. Now how to calculate the value of this height, I have already explained in the derivation itself, which we had considered for standard cases, but let me explain it once more. Let me consider the load intensity at this section as Wx. Okay, when I consider the load intensity as Wx, this will make one triangle. Up to this section XX will make one triangle, and this larger triangle will be other triangle. Okay, both small triangle and the larger triangle are having the same angle. That means they will make similar triangle. And for similar triangles we are having opposite by base for larger triangle, which is 60 by 3 is equal to opposite by base for smaller triangle. Opposite for smaller triangle I will take it as wx, which is unknown. So wx opposite by base I have taken it as x. X is again unknown. From this I can find what is the value of load intensity at section xx for this UVL. So wx is the load intensity, will become cross multiply this 60 into x divided by 3. So wx is equal to 60 into x divided by 3. That is what I have written here. Wx is equal to 60 into x divided by 3. Let me zoom it and represent this triangle here. So what it is, how it is represented is load intensity is 60x by 3, which I have calculated here, and this distance which I need to calculate is x. I need to calculate it, and this distance is given it as 2 meter. Now again this UVL I need to convert it into point load to calculate x. Okay, now how to convert it into point load is, consider area of triangle, half base is x, so I considered half base is x, here I have written base as x, and height or load intensity is 60x by 3, here I have written it as 60x by 3. So half base is x and height is 60x by 3, so it will become 60, you can divide it by 6, so it will become 10x square. So after converting this UVL into point load, the point load value is 10x square, acting at a distance of x by 3 from this end. From this end it will be x by 3, here I have written x by 3, and from this end it will be 2x by 3. Now why I have converted this is again to calculate x. So how I am going to calculate x? What is x? X is a distance from this end to the point where shear force is 0. Now I cut the section here. I have considered all the forces from right end, or you can consider all the forces from left end. But remember, when I consider all the forces at this end with respect to this section, the summation of all the forces should be equal to 0, because shear force about this section is 0. Shear force is nothing but summation of all the forces either from right end or summation of all the forces from left end. Since the value of shear force at this point is 0, so summation of all the forces from right end at this section should be equal to 0. Now I am going to use the same logic here. This is a section XX. If I come from right side, there are two forces, one is 55 and other is this UVL, which is nothing but 10x square. So if I add these forces and take shear force about XX, I need to get the value of shear force as 0. That is what I have used here. Okay, look at this. Shear force at section XX is equal to, come from right side upward is nothing but negative. Okay, for shear force coming from right side and upward force is negative, so minus 55, and here this one more force is there because of UVL, that is 10x square, and it is acting in downward direction from right side, so it is positive. So minus 55 because of this plus 10x square because of this UVL is equal to 0, because shear force is equal to 0. From this I can write minus 55 I can take here, so it will become plus 55 is equal to 10x square. From this you will get x value as 2.345. So I got the value of x as 2.345. Here I am going to write x as, in BMD also I can write x as 2.345. So at this point shear force is 0, that means at this point bending moment is 0. Now I need to also take bending moment with respect to this point, because I know the distance. Now I can calculate what is the bending moment at this point. Again consider the same triangle. I have already explained this, how I got the value of 60x by 3 and how I converted into point load. Now take the value of bending moment with respect to xx and calculate what is the bending moment at this point. Come from right end, there is a load of 55 and it is lifting the beam upward from with respect to x-axis. The beam will bend upward. So positive 55 into perpendicular distance. Now I got the value of x, that is 2 plus 2.345, which will become 4.345. So 55 plus 55 into 4.345, and this UVL, when I convert it into point load, is bending the beam downward. With respect to x-axis, it is going to bend the beam downward. So we'll take it as negative. Okay, so minus force is 10x square, 10x square into perpendicular distance is x by 3. X by 3. I've calculated the value of x. We all know that x is equal to 3.45. Now this, when I multiply, I'll get the value of this minus. Substitute the value of x. X square into x will become x cube, and x is 2.345. So 2.345 cube divided by 3. Finally, I'll get the value of bending moment as 196 kilonewton meter. This is what I have written here, 196 kilonewton per meter, which is the maximum value. Here I was having 110, here I was having 185. This is the maximum positive bending stress. This is about this problem.